Ever pondered about the origins of National Socialism? What confluence of ideas and circumstances led to the rise of one of the most notorious ideologies in history? The roots of German National Socialism, also known as Nazism, can be traced back to a potent national intellectual and political tradition. This tradition extends beyond the scientific or philosophical heritage of the late 19th century, encompassing figures like Darwin, Gobineau, Chamberlain, Nietzsche and Wagner. Many themes that re-emerged in National Socialism had been animating German social and political life for decades. The synthesis of National Social leans on the two main political currents of the 19th century, nationalism and socialism, which were long-time antagonists. The idea of this synthesis was formulated in Germany at the end of the century by Adolf Stocker and Friedrich Neumann. Their political influence was limited, but the idea spread across both the left and the right. The defeat and subsequent German crisis post-1918 did nothing but reinforce this current. However, the practical implementation of this idea resulted in a mystification, as it had little to do with nationalism or socialism as these terms are generally understood. It was rather a part of the unfulfilled promises of the early party program drafted in 1920, which was socialist in nature and served only as a means to gain mass support. Several explanations have been proposed regarding National Socialism. First, the critique of parliamentary democracy and the aspiration for a strong government are products of modern economic and political evolution. Liberalism appears outdated. To handle new internal and external tasks, the state requires broader means. In Germany, even after 1918, parliamentarism was never fully accepted and was seen as a product of the French Revolution, imposed by the victorious foreigner. Weimar is the regime of defeat, anti-national by essence and birth. Secondly, the idea of the Völkisch, racism and anti-Semitism at the end of the 19th century, the concept of the uniqueness of peoples and races, and the idea of a close link between people, nature, and their civilization, culture, enjoyed a significant expansion, not only in Germany. The geopolitical situation of Germany in Europe, its shifting borders and recent unity, contributed to the need to assert its superiority. Thirdly, anti-Semitism was not exclusive to Russia or France. In the political sphere, it was in Austria where it reached its most brilliant development with Karl Lueger, the mayor of Vienna from 1897 to 1919. In Germany, despite Stocker's rapid failure and the fact that anti-Semitic deputies in the Reichstag were no more than 16, the idea permeated increasingly broad sectors of the population. A significant Jewish immigration from Eastern Europe at the beginning of the 20th century, and the concentration of Jews in certain sectors of national life, only exacerbated sentiments already rooted in the German people during the crisis. Lastly, regarding foreign policy, since Bismarck's fall in 1890, Germany had been continually claiming its place in the sun, that is, land for settlement, sources of raw materials, markets for its industry, and colonies in relation to its demographic dynamism. The amputation of 10% of its territory and the loss of colonies in 1918 provoked a deep sense of frustration. National Socialism was, in this aspect, only the loud echo of a claim common to the vast majority of Germans. There you have it. The roots of National Socialism are deeply intertwined with the intellectual, political and social currents of 19th and early 20th century Germany. Its rise was fueled by a critique of parliamentary democracy, racial and cultural ideologies, anti-Semitic sentiments, and foreign policy frustrations. It is a sobering reminder of how potent ideas and challenging circumstances can coalesce into an ideology that shapes the course of history.